referring to the city administrator's authority to hire, fire, supervise, and otherwise handle personnel affairs for the city of Clarendon. Okay.
I think my position on this is pretty clear, but Tommy asked for this to be on the agenda, so I'll defer.
Okay. Would you like to express the reasons you have for wanting this?
We discussed it in the personnel policy.
Okay, so we've already gone there, and you're satisfied with where it went?
I never did. If we need to make a motion on it, I will.
Well,
I want it in writing on my recommendation.
That's the one that we decided that we would postpone till next time, and we would all discuss it, read about it.
If that's what you want to do, I'm fine.
That was just what I understood that it was decided to do.
If that's what y'all want to do, I'm
since it goes with that one, and we decided to wait 2 weeks on it and study it some more, that would be my thought.
I'm just one on this board, but that's fine with me. I know that.
Okay. I just want to make sure we're all happy. All right. We'll not address that one at this time. And we go to agenda item number 4. Discussion possible action on the selection of Code Compliance Officer and the scheduling of daily activities for the Code Compliance Officer.
Again, Tommy came in and we had a long debate about this one, and I think I made a good choice here, but then I thought I made a good choice last time.
It goes back to the same policy, and the reason I want to talk about this, because I don't think anybody on the board knows everything that's going on. I'm going to ask Lambert himself, and he can tell me if it's true or not. Did a young man not come in and apply for that job that was already certified in animal control and euthanization?
He did not submit, maybe he did submit a resume. I talked to this guy on the phone, and he was not somebody that I wanted to put to work.
Okay, that's your recommendation. We didn't know nothing about it. This goes right back to what we're talking about. This board no knowledge of this, did we?
Probably not.
You didn't tell us, did you?
No.
But if that's his...
That's why I'm going, it all goes back to the same hiring and firing practices. It would have saved the city. I don't know if this would have been the right guy or not. Don't take me wrong. I think we should have had a chance to look at him. It would have saved the city money. Actually, before that, we believe in promotion within. I don't believe that position was offered to some more full-time employees that we already have, that have been here 2 years, 2.5 years. I believe, I'm not saying they would have taken that job, but they should have been offered it.
Not if we didn't feel like that they would be good in that position.
He said him, and now y'all saying we. Who is we?
Well,
it wasn't us.
We talk about everybody, everything that
But
goes
it wasn't
on.
us.
If you were in the office, he'd talk to you about it too. I just happened to be there, and so he bounces things off of me. I totally agreed that some of these other people would not be very good in that position. That goes back to the same deal where we're blank. We don't know nothing. Yeah.
Okay, when y'all decided that these employees
decide.
or this man or whoever would not be good in that position, I just wanted to clarify, were there no personal agendas against any of them?
No.
I mean, no personal opinion, nothing.
Yeah, I have a personal opinion that the folks that we have already hired are doing a good job where they are, and that's where I need them.
Okay, well, that's a confidence in them. But, I mean, as far as saying that you didn't want someone hired because of any other reason that was negative as far as them, I mean, not as far as them being good at what they were doing, but any negative reason.
If I had something against them, I probably would release them from the position that they hold now.
Okay, I just mean anybody that applies, not just an already city employee, but anybody that applies. I just want to be certain, you know, that there's no personal agendas against anyone not being hired.
That's not the way it works. No, we're not out there doing that.
I just wanted
And
to,
I want to clarify one other
that.
thing. I might have stated something where it could be misunderstood, and I don't want you to. I'm simply a sounding board for Lambert. I don't tell him who he should fire and who he shouldn't fire. If he asks me my opinion, I'll give an opinion. But I also make it clear every time, I'm not telling you I want you to do this or that. I'm just here for you to bounce ideas off of.
Okay. I just want to make sure that everyone, you know, gets an equal opportunity. Yeah, if some city employees were better at their job, then that's fine. Yeah. But everyone just deserves an equal opportunity.
Of course they do.
Let me also say, if somebody crosses the threshold and presents to me an application, and I'm thinking of one example. A young man came in and he was wearing a wife beater t-shirt and some Daisy Duke shorts, and I don't think he had bathed in a couple of days, and the application that he handed me was fully filled out, but he misspelled the names of his references. I'm sorry, I know I'm being too subjective, but the man loses credibility. I'm sorry, that's just, I mean, that's the way it is.
Any employer
that's one thing. But, I mean,
I think that's reasonable, I think that's logical, and I think that ought to be my call. I don't, you know, that's an individual, my impression was that individual would not be our best ambassador out on the street. And that's, I think that's part of my job, and I think that's what I ought to be doing.
If there's an open in the position of the city, and there's already an employee, can he apply for that job? Is there, can he actually apply to another job, or?
Yes, but in the code compliance officer position, I just made a change very quickly. I don't think I even advertised that job.
Yeah.
I just made a move.
Yeah.
And the individual I put on had been working part-time, but I had confidence that he would be the best choice for a number of reasons, which I could go into if you like, but I think any of them are conclusive.
Well, you got the pros and cons of everything. You said you go into all the good things, but I've heard a bunch of the cons too. Did a supervisor tell you that he wasn't performing his job and stuff like that? I know what the supervisor told you. I can say it all if you want me to.
Can I ask a question, Tommy?
Yeah.
How do you know what the supervisor
I
told you?
talk to the city employees every day, every one of them.
So you're talking to the city employee?
That's my job. Yeah, that is
Actually, that's not mine. I don't know. Because having worked for a board myself, or that a board is over the top of it, that would, if I know how Dr. Shirley would feel if I went to one of the board of regents every time, just venting everything that I wanted or everything that I didn't get, and that's not fair. That's not right.
Good communication.
And it's not, no, that floats on a little unethical too.
Let me tell you this though. We are in a small town. I mean, I talk to some of the employees too. I don't necessarily talk city business. But I talk to, I mean, I see them in the street. Hey, how you doing? How's it going? How's your family? I mean, I talk to employees on a daily basis generally
sure they're
too.
taken
Because
care
I'm
of,
out seeing them and I talk to them.
Right.
And I mean, if something came up and someone told me something, then, I mean, you know, that's one thing. If you're just talking to them in general conversation, and maybe one thing came up. That's not necessarily, I don't think, unethical.
No, that's
you know,
fine. Just check
maybe they had
health and welfare
comment.
management by wandering around. I don't have a problem with that. But when you're getting in, do you agree with such and such decision that he made? Man, that is just... And one other thing too, Tommy, having the purview of looking at it, maybe this is where I get bogged down in a little bit of my military background, but always honor the chain of command. It's always, it is the right thing to do that if this employee has a problem, he takes it to his supervisor. If the supervisor can't fix it, then he lets the supervisor know, I'm going to take it to the next person in my chain of command. And on and up it goes. But if he decides, well, I'm going to jump everybody else and not let nobody know that I've got a problem with X, Y, or Z, and that's not giving the chain of command an opportunity to solve the issue or work on whatever the issue might be. And that's where we start drifting into micromanagement.
And a lack of ethics.
Well, you know the chain of command?
If the supervisor,
Who's over him? I'm just asking a question.
We're over here.
So that's the chain of command?
But that doesn't mean.
That doesn't mean that employee can go all the way around us and then talk about some decision he made.
No, he didn't.
No, that's you just told.
He didn't say that. If I got a bad guy,
read me what he just said.
Did the supervisor tell you that there was, no, I'm sorry, yeah. The supervisor tell you that there was an employee that was not doing their job?
okay, so maybe
That's
the
exactly what I
supervisor
said.
complained and then nothing happened, so maybe he went on the chain of command to the next person.
I was just asking
I mean, I
him
don't
a
know, I'm
question
just
if he
saying.
told him or not. It was a simple question. That's a simple question. A yes or a no.
What I'm trying to get to is that the chain of command should have the opportunity to address all those issues. If they're coming directly to you, or even worse, you're going to them and asking them about decisions that Lambert made.
No, it had nothing to do with what he just said.
Man, I think that's.
Well, let's go ahead with what you were discussing originally.
That it goes back to the recommendation. That it all falls back to the same thing we talked about. That way, that would all stop. We wouldn't have no problem. It could have been come to the board of recommendation.
And
Am I making sense?
not to me.
Would be wrong with me listening to the supervisor saying that an individual didn't fit in, and I took that individual and plugged him in a position where he did fit in. That's a win-win situation. How could anybody object to that?
You plugged him in where he fit in.
He does. Let's see what
Never mind that. You have that authority right
You've gone
now,
to one of
you
my
can do it.
supervisors and have talked about personnel issues, and you know what he said to me.
Hold on a second.
No, let me talk. Tommy's gone, and he's talked to my supervisors, asked which one of these employees is working out well. Tommy knows what the conversation was, so fine. Joe says he doesn't like working with this guy. I took that guy and plugged him in some place where he'll fit. That's a good deal. I don't want to get into personnel issues. I got to tell you, you're killing me when you go talk to my employees. It's killing
Personal
me.
agenda you got. I know what it is.
It's not a person. The personal agenda I have is to please, I ask you, please let me do my job, and you stop trying to do it for me, because the employees don't have a clue who they work for. It's killing me.
Why do you go single me out then? Answer
Because
that
you're
question.
the only one that does it that I know of.
Why do you single me out and want 6 employees mad at me?
Because
We
you're the
are a
one that's
board.
doing it,
We are a
Tom. Give me a
board. We
break.
function as a board.
But the board's position isn't to go out and talk city business to the employees. That is not your job. And when you
No.
do, you're undermining the rest of us.
It wasn't nothing.
Yes?
I didn't hear Tommy say that he went and talked to a supervisor to find out what was said. I heard him say he knew what was said, but I mean, like I said, I talked to the employees and say maybe someone said, well, I went and said this. I mean, I didn't hear him say he specifically went out and asked him that.
Well, he said that he knew because he talked to the supervisor.
Okay, well maybe the supervisor told him, hey, it came up in conversation and he just said this is what was said. Maybe it wasn't as far as to outdo the chain of command, or maybe it wasn't Tommy went to talk to him for that. I mean, maybe it just came up in conversation. Oh, I went and talked to Lambert today, and
It
that was
seems to
it.
come up in conversation
I mean, I don't-
an awful lot.
And that's an unethical conversation to have, because that's a confidential personnel issue that should not be discussed in public.